Mary Stuart, the tragic Queen of Scotland and England's greatest rival. Mary Stuart, better known as Mary, Queen of Scots, was born on December 8, 1542 at Linlithgow Palace in Scotland. She was the only surviving child of King James V of Scotland and his second wife, Marie de Guise, a powerful French noblewoman. Through her father, Mary descended from the Tudor dynasty. Her grandmother was Margaret Tudor, sister of Henry VIII of England. This direct bloodline gave Mary a legitimate claim to the English throne, a claim that would shape her destiny and ultimately seal her tragic fate. When Mary was only 6 days old, her father died at the age of 30, leaving the infant princess as Queen of Scotland. Since she was far too young to rule, Scotland was governed by regents, first James Hamilton, the second Earl of Arran, and later her formidable mother, Marie de Guise. Early marriage proposals and the Scottish-French alliance. Marie's hand in marriage was a matter of international politics from the very beginning. In 1543, a treaty was signed to betroth Mary to Prince Edward, the future Edward VI of England, a union that could have united England and Scotland. But when the Scottish Parliament dissolved the treaty only months later, Henry VIII declared war on Scotland in what became known as the Rough Wooing. France, Scotland's traditional ally, quickly stepped in. In 1548, it was agreed that Mary would marry the French Dauphin, François, son of King Henry II of France. The 5-year-old queen was sent to France, where she grew up in one of Europe's most dazzling courts. On April 24, 1558, the 15-year-old Mary married François in the magnificent Notre Dame Cathedral of Paris. A year later, tragedy struck when King Henry II died in a jousting accident, making Mary and François King and Queen of France. But the dream was short-lived. François, frail and sickly, died in December 1560, leaving Mary, widowed at just 18 years old, returned to Scotland in conflict with Elizabeth I. With her position in France diminished, Mary returned to Scotland in August 1561. She was a devout Catholic ruling over a now Protestant nation, where reformer John Knox railed against her openly. Surprisingly, Mary tried to maintain peace, tolerating Protestant reforms and even working closely with her half-brother James Stuart, Earl of Moray. At the same time, her cousin Elizabeth Tudor had become Queen of England in 1558. From the Catholic perspective, Elizabeth was illegitimate, since Henry VIII's marriage to Anne Boleyn was never recognized by the Pope. Many Catholics therefore believed that Mary, as the great-granddaughter of Henry VII, was the rightful Queen of England. This made her a constant threat to Elizabeth. Love, betrayal, and murdering. 1565. Mary shocked Europe when she married her tall, handsome cousin Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. Their union united to strong claims to the English throne, deeply alarming Elizabeth. At first, the marriage seemed promising, but Darnley quickly revealed himself to be arrogant, power-hungry, and abusive. He grew jealous of Mary's Italian secretary, David Rizzio, and in 1566, Darnley and his allies murdered Rizzio in front of the pregnant queen. On June 19, 1566, Mary gave birth to her only child, James VI of Scotland, later James I of England, but the marriage continued to deteriorate. Only months later, Darnley was found dead under mysterious circumstances after an explosion at Kirkhofield in Edinburgh. His strangled body suggested foul play. Suspicion quickly fell on James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell, one of Mary's most trusted nobles. In an act that shocked Scotland, Mary married Bothwell just weeks after Darnley's death. Whether out of love, coercion, or desperation remains debated. Many believed Bothwell had murdered Darnley, and Mary's hasty marriage to him ruined her reputation. Her enemies forced her to abdicate the throne in favor of her infant son, James. In July 1567, imprisonment and the English rivalry. Mary was imprisoned at Fotheringhay Castle, but she managed a daring escape in May 1568. Seeking refuge and support, she fled to England, placing herself under the protection of Elizabeth I. A fatal mistake. Elizabeth saw Mary as both a cousin and a threat. Though she allowed Mary to live in relative comfort, Elizabeth kept her under house arrest for 19 long years. During this time, Mary became the focus of countless Catholic plots to overthrow Elizabeth and place Mary on the English throne. The most dangerous of these was the Babington Plot of 1586, which directly implicated Mary in a conspiracy to assassinate Elizabeth. This sealed her fate. Trial, execution, and legacy. Mary was tried and found guilty of treason. Despite Elizabeth's hesitation to execute an anointed queen, the warrant was finally signed. On February 8, 1587, Mary Stuart was executed at Fotheringhay Castle. She walked to the scaffold dressed in black, but underneath her gown she revealed a crimson-red petticoat, symbolizing martyrdom and royal blood. It took 3 strikes of the executioner's axe to sever her head. In a haunting twist, when her head was lifted to the crowd, her wig came away in the executioner's hand, revealing her short, grey hair. Mary was buried at Peterborough Cathedral, but in 1612, her son James VI of Scotland, now also James I of England, had her remains moved to Westminster Abbey, where she lies near her rival, Elizabeth I. Mary's life remains one of the most dramatic and tragic stories of European history. A queen at 6 days old, a widow at 18, a mother at 23, a prisoner at 25, and a martyr at 44. Her story is one of love, betrayal, political intrigue, and the unrelenting struggle for power. Thank you for watching.